Hey, we're talking today about the 4 simple and easy strategies that I use to make sure that you hit every single habit and you're able to keep it long term. I'm not talking about those habits that you pick up for a couple of weeks and then drop off. I'm talking about long-term habit change that is going to change your life. I really hope you're ready for it. What I'm going to do really quick is just while we've got this broadcast going, I'm going to share this over to the group. If you're not part of the group, I've got to ask, why not? It's over at She Takes Action Group. And basically what we do there is it's a fantastic group. We've got about, I would say 125 women in there right now. And what we do is we talk about everything to do with habits, goals, fitness, exercise, nutrition, cleanliness, all these things that go together to make a well-rounded life. So here's what we're going to do today. We are going to be talking about those 4 habits that are going to change everything. I hope you're ready to get going. My name is Tessa Shears. I'm a productivity and wellness expert. I was a personal trainer for over 10 years. So I basically worked with clients day in, day out, and I still do. But I kept thinking to myself, the best and most well-designed exercise and nutrition plan in the world doesn't mean anything if you can't stick to it. If you can't develop the habit of meal prepping and eating healthy, and if you cannot develop the habit of exercising and being active and moving your body, then what the heck is the point of going through all that? So my job here is to explain to you my 4 strategies and what I do to nail that down and make sure that these habits are lifelong changing. Okay, are you ready for number 1? All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is choosing what I call a fundamental habit. So we have lots of habits. Maybe we want to write more often. Maybe we want to take more walks. Maybe we want to play with our kids more. There's plenty of habits that we might want to have. But science has shown that there are 4 areas that if you set habits in these areas first, they tend to have an overflow effect. Those 4 areas are if you set a habit in exercise, eating better, sleeping better, and decluttering the crazy mess that might be in your house. So, for example, I want you to think about this. When you are exercising on a regular basis, how much easier is it to eat well? Or when you're eating better, how much easier is it to exercise better? When you're sleeping better, how much easier is it to be productive at work? Hi! So that is basically what we're going to be talking about today. So those 4 areas are where you're going to want to set your foundation habits. So again, those are exercise, eating better, sleep, and decluttering the crazy mess that might be hiding in your house. So we all know what piles are. It's kind of like the drop zone of the house where, everything piles up there and it gets a little chaotic, so we move on to another pile. All right, so we want to set fundamental habits first to help drive our other habits. So that's my tip number 1. Now I'm going to go into the 3 that are going to set you up for the most success. Are you scheduling your habits in? I cannot tell you what a difference this makes. I oftentimes, if I find that I have clients that I'm working with, that they aren't hitting their goals or they aren't staying on top of their habits, I say to them, let me see your schedule. Can I have a look at your calendar? And they're always like, no. Or, oh yeah, something happened to my plan or my dog ate it, something like that. But essentially, what I want to tell you is that if you do not schedule it, it does not get done. And I can't say this any other way. You need to be on top of it. There are lots of ways you can schedule. You can use Google Calendar. You can use the calendar that comes with your phone. You can do a physical tracking planner on the fridge. You can do a paper planner. There are so many ways you can do it. And I mean, we talked in our Facebook Live last week all about planning. And I was telling you guys last week how I plan out my entire week. You can see here. Every Sunday night I plan it out, and this is everything I need to get done. And you can bet that my workouts are making it on here. 6 workouts a week are being planned before anything else. Because I'm a busy girl. I don't know about you, but I know for certain that when I let my exercise slide, everything else slides too. I stop eating as well. I don't go to sleep on time, and my house is a disaster. And I hate that because I'm a bit of a neat freak. I love to organize. Like this weekend, I had 2 days off, and you want to know what I did? I organized my house, and it was wonderful, and it feels so good. But I can't tell you how much not getting those workouts in and taking care of your mental clarity, how much it makes a difference on your ability to focus and get stuff done. So first things that get scheduled in are always those exercise sessions. And then what I do is because because I'm all about feeling good. Whenever I accomplish something, I highlight it in green. And last week was a cool week. Nothing is not highlighted in green. How neat is that? So, and I'll even flip to this week. So this is this week. Everything is already scheduled in, but nothing is highlighted yet because it is just Monday. So give me a couple hours and it'll be highlighted. So everything is scheduled in. And on top of that, here is something I want you to consider. If you are scheduling something into your calendar, one of your habits, so say your habit is to exercise 3 times a week for 45 minutes doing strength training. You see how specific that was? So say that's your goal. I want you to schedule that on the calendar, and I want you also to account for how much time it's going to take to complete that entire activity. So where a lot of my clients go wrong is they'll schedule a 45-minute exercise session, and they'll schedule it for 45 minutes. Here's the problem with that. How long does it take you to drive to the gym? How long does it take you to do your workout? How long does it take you to drive home, refuel with food? How long does it take you to shower? I need you to always be scheduling for the entire component that is involved with that activity. So for me, I schedule 2 hours, and I call it exercise and shower. That's the block. I give myself 2 hours from 7:30 to 9:30 every single day, Monday through Friday. That way I don't ever find I'm rushing. I don't run out of time, because when you start rushing during those transitions between items in your schedule, this is where you're most likely to have habit breakdown. So I really want you to focus on making sure you are allotting the correct amount of time. And it doesn't have to be perfect the first time. It really doesn't. There are going to be times where you're like, I did not schedule enough time, and that is okay because it's a learning process. And what is going to happen from here is that you learn the next time. Maybe you need an extra 15 minutes to shower because you're stressed out and you need a little stress release. So you're in the shower enjoying the hot water. So that's basically what I want to talk about as far as scheduling. If it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't get done. If you want a habit to become permanent, it needs to be on your schedule every week, all the time. All right, got it? Perfect. All right, we're moving on to number 3 of my strategies on how to make something stick, and it is called monitoring. So scheduling and monitoring are a bit different. Scheduling says, I'm going to go to the gym at 7 a.m. on Monday. Monitoring says, did you go to the gym at 7 a.m. on Monday? And like I said, with this, what I do with my clients is when I develop all of their spreadsheets, I give them a box, a weekly accountability box, and if they completed their workout, they put a 1 in the box, and if they didn't, they get a 0. And it tallies up all of their workouts throughout the week, and they get a score. So if my client and I have agreed that they need to exercise 3 times a week, and they get to the end of the week and they have 3 1s, they get 100% for that week. But if they miss 1, they only get 66% of the week. So this is a way of asking yourself, am I completing my goals? So a good way to think about accountability is if you gave your goal or your habit to someone else, and at the end of the week, they should be able to, with ease, look at your habit, look at your tracking, your monitoring, and say, and you ask them, did you complete this habit? It should be a simple yes or no answer. If it's not, you either weren't clear enough in recording and monitoring, or your goal was not specific enough. So if you got the email that I sent out this morning, for those of you guys that are in my tribe and getting my weekly momentum morning newsletters, we talked about specific goals. So wanting to exercise more is not specific. Exercise, not specific. More often, not specific. So I really want you to go check that out. If you didn't get a chance to grab that email, just leave me a message in the comments and I will send you a copy of that so that you have it. It's all about how to get really specific with your morning habits and your goals. But essentially, we're talking about monitoring. So for me, I work with my boyfriend very closely on getting our exercise together because I find exercise for me is one of those habits that becomes such an ingrained part of life that it gets easy. But for him, sometimes he struggles just because he's got a lot going on. He's in a different career position than I am, and I have my mornings free. So what I did with him was I created on just something simple like Google Sheets, a spreadsheet. And in the spreadsheet, we get a check mark if we did it and an X if we didn't. And working side by side like that and monitoring and being able to see each other's successes has really helped. And that's leading right into number 4, the success secret that's going to help you set your habits and keep them is accountability. So Accountability can be a whole bunch of ways. Accountability can be one-on-one with a coach. It can be with a workout partner. It can be a friend. It can be an online friend. It can be part of a community. In the She Takes Action community, a lot of the times what I do is I say, hey, we're doing a follow-up Friday. It's the weekend. Things get hectic. What might you fall off track on? Can I check in with you on Monday and see if you held up to your end of the bargain? Did you want to exercise on Saturday? I'll check in and make sure you exercise on Saturday. So a community is a really great way to have that accountability. When you announce your habits and your missions publicly, it puts more of the onus on you to complete those habits. So that is something that's really worked for me. And I know for my boyfriend, as he's been getting back into exercise, coming out of, school and all of this kind of thing, is that he knows that I am watching his spreadsheet. He knows, just like my clients do, that if they don't get those exercise ticks, they're going to be hearing from me and be like, hey, what happened this week? So that sense of accountability. Now, that is all what we call external accountability, which means you're relying on someone outside of you to be accountable. So most of us will fall into that category of needing external accountability. But there are a small group of us scheduling crazy humans, just like myself, where we function on something called internal accountability. And so I'd love for you to leave a comment if you know that you are someone that upholds internal accountability. So if you put something on your schedule, say to go work out, will you complete it if no one is watching? So knowing whether you respond best to external accountability or internal accountability can really help you set yourself up for success. So for example, if I wanted to go to the gym, internal accountability for me would mean it's on my schedule. I'm going to do it because I scheduled it. I'm accountable to me. External accountability might mean that I have a coach that's going to ask me or check in and say, did you do your habit? That's the difference. So you need to find out what you respond to best and then set yourself up with an accountability system or a partner that fits best based on where you fall on that spectrum. So those are my 4 strategies. I use them day in and day out. I have been able to completely change my life by implementing these systems. So again, I'm going to go over them really quickly. Number 1 is that you use a fundamental habit such as exercise, sleep, nutrition, or decluttering to help get the ball rolling in the other areas. They seem to have the most impact on immediate satisfaction and wellness by starting one of those habits. Number 2, is it in your schedule? Is it somewhere you can see? Number 2, are you monitoring it? Is there a way that someone can go, yes, you did that this week, or no, you did not do that week? All right. And then the last one is accountability. Are you good with internal accountability, or do you need someone like a coach to help you? And, I honestly think everyone in the world should work with a coach if they ever have the opportunity to. I have a coach, and what she helps me with is growing my business and keeping me on track and helping me deliver awesome content to you so that I can help you grow. So in return, there's always someone helping us grow. So, coaches can come in a lot of different ways. They can be in person. You can have a virtual mentor. You can be working with, someone that is a couple steps ahead of you that looks back and goes, oh, watch out for that. I just fell into that big hole. Don't fall in. Walk around that hole. Don't make that mistake I did. So having someone that's a couple steps ahead of you that can look back, grab your hand, and pull you along with them is, I got to tell you, not only rewarding, but it's really changed the momentum in my life, if that makes sense. Instead of puttering along, I feel like I'm running now. And it's really exciting because, once you get one of those main habits, everything else starts to go along with it. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed the 4 strategies that I use in order to nail down every habit. If you're not part of our She Takes Action community, I highly recommend you to head over there and join the group. Also, I have a total wellness makeover guide. It's basically the exact printables, tools, and sheets that I use to schedule in all of my exercise, workouts, sleep, everything like that for the entire week. And I basically made it as a free gift for you for saying thank you for being such a great part of this community. It's free. All you got to do is give me your email and I'll send it right to your inbox. It's at tanessashears.com/planner. I've enjoyed having you here. I would like you to leave a comment below and let me know which one of these 4 you are getting stuck on, and I'd love to jump in and help, and maybe we could throw some ideas back and forth and get you unstuck. So until later this week, have a beautiful week. Move forward with your goals. Take action. She takes action. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.